back on NFL Live, and as Marcus Spears astutely pointed out yesterday, Aaron Rodgers always plays the Cowboys tough. Seems that was certainly the case in Mike McCarthy's return to Lambeau Sunday. Rodgers and Christian Watson got in a nice rhythm on his way to throwing 3 touchdowns and getting back to more Rodgers-like ways. Sorry, I'm choking. All right, Rob Demovsky is joining us now. Rob, do the Packers think they can sustain the success they had against the Cowboys and carry it into this week beyond to save their season? I'm literally crying right now. Go ahead, Rob.
Well, don't use the word sustainable around Aaron Rodgers. He said today that it's all week to week and that you've got to find your identity throughout the season. Well, Laura, it's taken 11 weeks, but they might have finally found something. And for the first time all year, they've hit some deep shots against the Cowboys, enter Christian Watson, while also staying committed to the run with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. And Rodgers was asked today if he saw that type of performance coming.
Not necessarily, no. I hope for a better performance for sure, but, I think it was the first time we've got Christian really through a game and got him some opportunities. And then we ran the football really well. I thought our offensive line played great. I thought the pass protection was really good. We stuck with the run the entire game. It was effective. Even the fourth quarter, we had a bunch of runs that actually set up some of the game-winning plays for us in the passing game.
So is that sustainable? Those things you're talking about?
I don't know. I mean, sustainable has become one of those words that gets said a little bit too much, I think, this year. So I'm going to stay away from sustainable.
It could change the way teams defend the Packers, though. I asked Christian Watson after he caught those deep balls, I asked him today if he expects changes in coverage, and he said, quote, they're going to have to cover the whole field, which will open up other guys. And Laura, speaking of other guys, they might get Randall Cobb back this week. He's been on injured reserve with an ankle injury, but he was talking today like there's a chance that he could go on Thursday night against the Titans here at Lambeau Field.
I love it, Rob. Thanks so much for joining us here on NFL Live. They're going to put me on injured reserve if I don't watch out. All right, let's get to RC here. Time to read and react. We're going to stay with Rodgers and the Packers. Green Bay had a clear game plan on Sunday. Run the ball, utilize the play-action passing game off of that, and the Packers ran the ball on 62% of their plays, the highest rate in any game, started by Aaron Rodgers in his career. Rodgers used play-action on nearly half of his dropbacks, which resulted in a season-high 148 passing yards when using play-action. RC, is this a winning formula, you think, for the Packers going forward?
You don't know if they can win constantly like this, but I know they'll lose if they don't do it. And this is what the Green Bay Packers have to be. Dan has been talking about this since the offseason. He did a whole form on getting under center, running the football, and getting into the play-action pass. Finally, Matt LaFleur went back to his foundation, to his base, and there was pre-snap motion. He used jet sweep motion, and then he was able to get vertical with the run while drawing your eyes horizontally and let Aaron Rodgers push the football down the field. This team needs to be defense, running the ball, allow one of the best that's ever played to be the best when he needs to, not the entire game.
You know, I hate to admit it, but Dan kept telling us the Packers were going to be just fine. He might have been on to something, at least if they followed this formula.
207 damn yards.
What? Yeah, I know. Crazy. All right, so let's talk about Tampa, where after losing 3 straight, Tom Brady and company seem to be back on track. They've won the last 2. Brady's former coach and current Bucs senior advisor, Bruce Arians, was asked about the criticism of offensive coordinator Byron Leftwich during the 3-game losing streak, said, quote, I don't think it was fair to Byron. Nobody is going to say that Tom Brady was playing bad, but he was playing bad. We also had growing pains and a young offensive front, and we weren't running well. There comes a time as a play caller when you're losing yards running the ball and you say, forget this, I'm putting the ball in Tom's hands. It's interesting. Calling out Brady a little bit there, Swagoo. What do you make of Arians?
Who am I to argue with BA? But BA, we going to argue today because you find another damn way to run the football. You go horizontal. You figure out different concepts and schemes with a young offensive line. Tom Brady has thrived his entire career off play action. That's why he's the GOAT. That's why he's been phenomenal at what he does. And I get it. I understand we want the ball in his hands because things are going wrong, and we've seen him deliver from time and time again. But ultimately, the reason why this team thrives and the only chance they have at a Super Bowl run is to find some semblance of the run game, to have that be effective enough for Tom Brady to be the GOAT that we've become accustomed to. Standing in the shotgun, all day long, all game long, at 45 with a weak interior offensive line, that ain't going to get nothing done, B.A.
That's not going to do it. And you know it's a big goat when you spell out the goat, you know, just in case.
Can I jump on that real quick on the back
really
end?
Quick,
I want everyone at home to understand it's not that the play action pass helps Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. It helps everybody else on the offense.
Lord.
Yes, Lord. Okay. Let's go to Chicago. Now you get to do your thing, okay? You had a comment on that one, too. Each of the last 2 weeks, Justin Fields has done something that had never been done by any player in NFL history. Last week, he became the first player to throw for 3 touchdowns and run for 150 yards in the same game. And on Sunday, Fields became the first player to have at least 2 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, and 100 rushing yards in a regular season game. It has been fun to watch with him. Where have you seen the biggest growth, though, from Fields over these last
quarterbacking?
Weeks?
And he's showing everybody that quarterbacking is coachable, and there's a difference between wanting to leave the pocket and having to leave the pocket. Perfect example against the Detroit Lions. Now, that is like your tackle box that we call the pocket, right? Watch Justin here. He gets into this moment right now. He's like, I want to leave the pocket. Now, he resets. I don't have to. Now I have to because Detroit has one on their blocks. Not only that, but look at his eyes. I talk about this every week with Justin, keeping his eyes downfield, points to Pringle, find that little soft spot in the area. So he goes through that process in play of wanting to leave, hanging in there versus needing to leave. Perfect example again. Justin normally, or in the past, would run from this pocket. Instead, he hangs in there for 4.5 seconds and finds a window in that zone to deliver the football. I've talked so many times about the mechanics for Justin. That has showed up. I've talked about it keeping eyes downfield. That has showed up. This time, it's hanging in the pocket and not leading until you or leaving until you have to. Every single week, there's the coachable quarterback traits that start to show up. The athleticism, that's the uncoachable stuff. But the coachable stuff, he continues to check week after week after week. It's as encouraging a performance, quarterback-wise, as anybody in the league, maybe outside of Tua.
Yeah, no one's doubting this now. But, I mean, Bears, you got your quarterback for the very distant future. Anything else you want to comment on before we go? No?